In this Elden Ring video, I'm going to be showing you my Bloodhound's quality build. This is a level 150 build that's made for both PvE and PvP content. This build uses dual-wield curved greatswords and dual-wield whips. This is all while wearing a very fashionable set of armor and making full use of defensive talismans. If you have been looking for a good pure melee build that doesn't require the use of sorceries or incantations, then this build is for you. So let's start off and talk a little bit about the weapons I chose for the build. The first one being the Bloodhound's Fang. This is one of the best weapons in Elden Ring for quality scaling. It deals a significant amount of physical damage and has the added bonus of stacking bleed against opponents. Dual wielding these swords allows for a major increase in damage along with a faster buildup of bleed. Attacks on this weapon come out at a moderate speed. This allows you to attack a few times in between boss attacks in PvE and perfect for fighting proactively in PvP. The Ash of War on this weapon is called Bloodhound's Finesse. This is a unique skill that is only available for Bloodhound's Fang. This skill costs little FP, deals noticeable damage, and can be followed up by a heavy attack. This move is highly unpredictable and difficult to read in PvP. The other weapon on this character is Hoslow's Pedal Whip. With this build, infusing the weapon with quality will be the best for damage due to scaling. This weapon serves as the perfect complement to Bloodhound's Fang. The weapon on its own is able to deal good damage, but in this build it shines. On top of physical damage, this weapon stacks bleed just like Bloodhound's Fang. This means you can keep building stacks against bosses in PvE and keep applying pressure in PvP. The reason I chose this weapon is that it covers any weak points the Bloodhound's Fang may have. Where the Bloodhound's Fang excels at close range, mid-range is where Hoslow's Pedal Whip works best. This weapon allows you to do physical damage all while being at a safe distance. The other major difference between weapons are attack speed. The Hoslow's Pedal Whip is much quicker, making them ideal for finishing attacks and roll catching in PvP. The default Ash of War on Hoslow's Pedal Whip is Kick, which isn't very good. I chose to complement this weapon with the Ash of War Bloodhound Step. Many of you have most likely encountered this ability already in PvP, as it is one of the best and most versatile skills. This skill allows you to become temporarily invisible while dodging at a high speed. This skill moves much faster and travels farther than any regular dodge or quick step. This skill can be used to escape danger or even circle around locked on targets. Bloodhound Step on this weapon works wonders as it allows you to properly position yourself out of harm's way while still being at the perfect distance to punish opponents. When it comes to armor, we're using Hoslow's set as it offers great defenses and pairs great with everything else on the build. You can honestly use whatever armor you want, but the idea is to have a high level of protection and decent poise for all in-game content. You want to play this build as aggressively as possible to keep pressure on whatever it is you're up against. This means you want to move quick, but not be punished for wearing too light of gear. This build is designed to be agile, but still needs to be able to trade those necessary blows when needed. I personally like the way the armor looks and think it serves the build quite well. Looking over at the talismans for the build, we're using the Erdtree's Favor +2, the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, Pearl Drake Talisman +2, and the Mottled Necklace +1. Sometimes I'll switch out one of the talismans for either the Crimson or the Viridian Amber Medallion +2, depending on what content I'm up against. Overall, these talismans are more defensive, allowing us to maintain our swiftness in combat while providing a noticeable mitigation to all types of damage. The Erdtree Favor +2 is a decent all-around buff to our HP, stamina, and equip load. The Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman enormously boosts our physical damage negation. The Pearl Drake Talisman vastly boosts our non-physical damage negation, and the Mottled Necklace +1 greatly raises our robustness, immunity, and focus. This stops us from getting frozen or bled out, which happens to be the builds that are most common in PvP. Talking about the stats for this build, we have 44 Vigor, 10 Mind, 40 Endurance, 55 Strength, 55 Dexterity, 9 Intelligence, 9 Faith, and 7 Arcane. We have 44 Vigor because you're going to be trading damage. I do wish this was a bit higher. Maybe tweaking the numbers between Endurance and Vigor could be the way to go if you're trying to min-max, but 44 works perfectly for all late in-game content. The idea is to have enough points to allow you to play aggressively without the fear of dying. The 10 Mind is there so you can use both your Ashes of War. I haven't had problems with running out of FP during either boss fights or PvP encounters. While this build has survivability to play the long game, typically the build ends fights before all FP is consumed. The 40 Endurance allows us to dual-wield Bloodhound's Fang, Hoslow's Pedal Whip, and all of our armor while medium rolling. Again, this is the stat that I would lower if you're trying to get a bit more vigor, but as I said before, this build has enough points into HP to survive trading blows, even in in-game content. Both Strength and Dexterity are at 55, as I found this to be the sweet spot in soft caps and weapon scaling. These stats are where all the damage from the weapon scaling is coming from. Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane are at the base stat that we started with on the Vagabond class because you don't need any for this build. If you're wanting to add buffs or increase bleed stacks, you would need to raise these numbers. However, the character design is to be a pure physical build, and honestly you would just end up weakening its effectiveness in both PvE and PvP. The gear combination for hybrid builds would need to be changed dramatically in order to be effective as this pure build. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any questions, I am more than happy to discuss with you in the comments. These videos do take a while, so dropping a like and subscribing would be much appreciated. Stay tuned for more Elden Ring videos, and let me know what builds you'd like to see in the comment section below. Peace!